gonna lose this week. Christmas cards. How intense is this music? Run to the playoffs. It's like sounds like a Christmas carol going on here, all right? Sounds like what's that called? Is a Manhattan Steamroller or something like that? That boom ba-da-da-da-da, bum, ba-da-da-da-da. It is playoff time. In the Misfit Toy, Sean Foy is my friend from college, but not here. Misfit Toy Fantasy Football League playoffs. And I finally got this down, I think. Playoffs going that way. It's weird. I apologize for my voice. I tried to record this earlier with some nice hot chocolate from KDO. That's been fantastic. I've gotten that every day. And a nice donut. I got interrupted 3 or 4 times second period during prep. So now 6th period prep trying to do it. I've already been interrupted a couple times. So we're trying to get this thing out there. But it is playoff time. This guy is Jim Moore. I did this a couple years ago. He had a funny rant about making the playoffs. And I'm going to play that for you here.
And that was a disgraceful performance, in my opinion. We threw that game. We gave it away by doing that. We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. And that was a disgraceful.
I've always thought that was funny. You might have thought that was a waste of 20 seconds of your life, but he's just so animated. Playoffs! We are in the playoffs, and we will have our bracket reveal today, talk a little bit about how we do our playoffs, and start that starting tomorrow. We got games tomorrow night. But before then, let's take a look at our scoreboard to see how the final standings shook out. So we had a lot of jockeying going on here, trying for position. I was up for the number 1 seed if I could pull off a win against Ryan. But Ryan decided to have one of his best games of the season, and he absolutely took it to me. 173 to 148. Jalen Hurts was all over it for him, 53 points. Monroe St. Brown and Sajay P. Ryan tried to bring me back. My man Tom Brady tried to bring me back, but I still fell by quite a bit. Ryan finished the season at 7-6. I finished at 10-3. My 7-game winning streak is over, but like I told Tyler in the hallway, that streak was probably coming to an end at some point. I'm glad it came to an end before the playoffs instead of in the playoffs. Maybe you're the other person that's like, well, just win all your games out. Maybe I could have. I don't know, but Ryan took me down. Nathan Neward, again, when the brackets come out, I hope he's not on my side. He's really up and down, but he has a solid team, and he scores a lot of points. And he took down Michael Allen 162 to 95 to finish 7-6. Michael in the Ruby Ducey, which we'll talk about, is 3-10. Chris and Dora coming in hot took down Leanne and Der Blitz 97 to 89. Both their defenses played well there. They both finished at 7-6. Team Sheehan, he knocked out Brad 168 to 95. Joe Burrow, a huge game for him. Sheehan finished 9-4. Brad finished 5-8. Jeanette picked up a win to end the season in the regular season. She beat Nick 140 to 114 to finish 3-10. Nick finished 5-8. Jeanette came on strong there at the end. I think if she would have done that from the beginning, she probably would be in the playoffs, but she is in that Ruby Ducey. Team Hawkeye, he's won 2 in a row now after his 5-game losing streak. He beat Fail Mary 158 to 126. Kevin finishes 8-5. Lisa finishes 6-7. Angie Lutenegger took down the Teely 112 to 63, and Teely says he is in trouble. Both his quarterbacks are out. He got his man Brock Purdy picked up on waivers. So maybe it isn't Brocktober, but maybe it's Brocktember. I don't know. December when Brock doesn't go together. But Teely finished 8-5. Angie Lutenegger 6-7. Teely hopefully gets a good run in the playoffs there. Angie Krug versus Becky Hazy. Becky Hazy is another one I don't really want to see on my side. She's got a solid team. She took down Angie Krug 169 to 98. Both of them finished 8-5 in the regular season. Matt Klinger, he's won 2 in a row. He's up to 4-9. He took down Ankeny Natron 177 to 117. Cleveland Brown defense, huge for Matt, who finishes 4-9. Still in the Ruby Ducey, and Ankeny Natron 3-10, also in the Ruby Ducey. Nick at 5-8, he escapes. Had one of these guys won a game earlier. Nick might have been in that Ruby Ducey, but he escapes. And then the game of the week, Tyler with a win wrapped up the 1 seed. With my loss, he wrapped up the 1 seed. So he is the 1 seed. But I called it a rock fight earlier. Is low scoring. Both teams were struggling. KP won 105-86 over Tyler. Tyler finishes 10-3, and KP at 6-7. So to the final standings we had. Okay, playoff teams in the South View Division. Brady Gaga, I'm your division champ at 10-3. Becky Hazy, Kevin at 8-5 are in the playoffs. Leanne at 7-6 in the playoffs. Amy KP at 6-7. Angie Lute 6-7. Nick 5-8 and Brad 5-8, all in the playoffs. Nick and Brad snuck in by picking up 1 extra win. And then Matt at 4-9 and Michael at 3-10 are in the Ruby Ducey. In the Hawks division, Tyler 10-3 is your champ. Sheehan at 9-4 finished second. Angie Krug and the Teely at 8-5. Nathan Neward and Chris and Ryan Webb all 7-6, and all 3 of those guys have the possibility. They have the team to score some points. So we don't want to see them in the playoffs. They're all 7-6. Lisa and Colt Jam, Fail Mary 6-7, and then Jeanette and Nathan at 3-10 are in the Ruby Ducey. The leading scoring team in the league. You take a look at the leading scoring team as I lost it. There we go. I'm back. Nathan Neward. Like I said, I don't want to see him. He's the highest scoring team in the league throughout, and he outscored everybody by 100 points. He almost scored 2,000 points with his team this year. Becky Hazy was second, and then Sheehan was third. The lowest scoring teams. Chris has the lowest scoring team after I just said he scores a lot of points. He does have that chance too. He has that possibility. I was the second lowest scoring team in the league. Somehow I pulled off a division title. Hopefully that luck doesn't run out in the playoffs. And then Tyler, ironically as well, is the third lowest scoring team, and he is a division champion. So the 2 division champions are the second and third lowest scoring teams in the league. So it's time now for our playoff reveal. I will share our screen with you and talk a little bit about our playoffs. So how I've done the playoffs in the past, and I'll send out a note to see. I really like this. It gives the regular season some meaning, but we can change it. We don't have to use it. I'd like to use it as the commissioner, and we have used it in the past, and people have been okay with it. But you do get a home field advantage if you're the higher seed. The higher seed, regardless of record or head-to-head before, it's your seeding place. Will receive 2 points, a 2-point lead for every seed higher than you are your opponent. Okay, so for example, if you're the 7 seed playing a 10 seed, 10 minus 7 is 3. 2 points for each seed, that's a 6-point lead. We could do a 1-point lead if you like for each seed. So if you're the 10 seed and 7 seed, you start out with a 3-point lead. My thinking for this is the regular season has to mean something. You need to have that home field advantage like in the NFL playoffs. The better team gets to play at home. I will set out a kind of maybe a survey to see what you want to do. We'll see the majority will rule on that. I will kind of have the final say, I guess, if there's a close one there. But I think there needs to be a lead, whether it's 2 points per seed or 1 point per seed. That can be yet to determine, but there needs to be something. So with that going on, I'm going to try and share my screen with you, and there it is. And we got a lot going on here. Abe Lincoln's in there for some reason. Here is our bracket. Here's the top half of our bracket. Our number 1 seed will be Tyler McDonald at 10-3. He will take on the 16 seed Brad and Clear Creek Gold Diggers. The 8-9 matchup should be a good one. Nathan Neward at 7-6. Dora coming in hot at 7-6. Both those teams with a lot of potential. That is the 8-9 matchup. The 12-5, Fail Mary at 6-7 is the 12 seed. Angie Krug at 8-5 is the 5 seed. Angie Krug, another one I like seeing this so far. Nathan and Angie on Tyler's side of the bracket. I really like to see that. The 4 seed, I like to see this even more. Becky Hazy, the 4 seed, is on Tyler's side of the bracket. And Amy KP, the 13 seed. And then starting to get to the other side of the bracket here. We have the 11 seed Ryan, who just took me down big time this weekend, versus Kevin and Team Hawkeye, who's won 2 in a row. Ryan's the 11 seed, 7-6. Kevin's the 6 seed at 8-5. Angie Lute versus Team Sheehan. Lute at 6-7 is the 14. Sheehan, I don't like seeing him, but I'd rather give Tyler up there up top. Those other guys, if I can get that far, I'll battle Sheehan out if he gets that far. But Sheehan 9-4 is the 3 seed, and Angie is the 14 seed. And you have the 7 seed, the Teely time. He picked up Brock Purdy. Can Brock Purdy put him on his back and carry him to some wins at 8-5 versus Der Blitz, the 10 seed at 7-6. And then down here we have the 2 seed, Brady Gaga, the Southview champion, versus Nick, the 15 seed, Jazzy Sports Balls at 5-8, Brady Gaga 10-3. So there is your playoff bracket one more time. As you see, Tyler the 1, Tyler T. McDonald, Brady Gaga the 2. You win, obviously you move on to try and get the Ruby Doobie, which is sitting right over there. That's why I looked over there. You lose, we'll still continue to play. When you lose, I realize sometimes you're out. You might be checked out already, but you'll still continue to play in the losers bracket, but the winners will advance, and it's 1 week per playoff game. Some places have 2, but 1 week per playoff game. We scroll down to the Ruby Ducey playoffs. So this one's a little different. If you lose, you move on. If you win, you move on as well. But the loser, whoever loses these 2 games, or however the computer does, looks like 3 rounds, is the Ruby Ducey. We will not take final record in consideration. It's the loser of the tournament will be the Ruby Ducey. But Michael Allen at 3-10 will take on Matt at 4-9. Then you have Ankeny Natron at 3-10 taking on Jeanette at 3-10. You lose 2 games there. Maybe it's 3 games. You lose 2 games or 3 games. We'll have to go. Maybe you'll have 2 people you lose. I don't know how we're going to figure that because the computer does it differently. I think it's just lose. You lose 2 in a row. You are out, but we'll see how they balance that out. The double loser will get the Ruby Ducey plaque with their face on it and the dunce cap, courtesy of Thomas Cotter a few years ago. So those are our matchups. Well, I know I went long. It's the playoff edition here. We can look at the projections here. Right now, there's Predator projections. Right now, I'm favored to beat Nick 135-88. That is without the home field advantage, which will be added in. Tyler's favored over Brad, 103-83. Nathan favored 145 over Chris, 63. Guessing Chris has a lot of holes in that lineup. Angie favored 115 to Fail Mary, 86. Becky Hazy favored 124-77 over KP. Kevin favored 135-117 over Ryan. Angie favored over Sheehan right now, 130-93. That'd be a nice upset I'd like to see in my bracket. Not that Angie couldn't beat me, but Tyler is the higher seed at 9-4. So just like NCAA tournament, you always want that lower seed to win. You think you have better chances, even though fantasy football is crazy and anybody can win any week. Then you have Der Blitz favored over Team Teely, 120-40. Man, Teely's got a lot of holes to fill in that lineup. And then to the Ruby Ducey consolation ladder. Michael favored 112-98 over Matt. Again, losers get the Ruby Ducey. And then you have Ankeny Natron favored over Jeanette, 135-78. All right, so this was a long one. I realize that. I apologize, but I just wanted to get everything out there to you. I will get you that questionnaire on the playoffs. We've done the 2 points per seed every year for the last 3 years, and it's worked out pretty well. But you guys let me know your opinions on that. Somehow with my lucky schedule, my lucky wins, Brady Gaga is the 2 seed. I have a good shot. Anyone has a shot in the playoffs, though. Been struggling, but I'm going to send this out for sure because this is like take 6, and no one's interrupted me, and the bell's not going to ring yet. So until next week, it's Go Brady Gaga. It's playoff time. Intensity rising. You are going down, Nick. Gaga. All the way. Playoff. If you haven't noticed, it's like a random word. music. I was gonna say Brady Gaga on this segment.